Bowling Green. Mike Sanzier, Brett Wenige, Johnny Wilkins were set to go. Settle back and enjoy it, everybody. 16th and final regular season game of the year. We're delighted you're part of it on Sports Time Ohio's Miami and Ohio will get you to the hoop here out of the Convocation Center. That's Reggie Keeley. Keeley's had an excellent senior year as his cohorts. DJ Cooper. Shot clock inside 10. Shot clock at 5 for Evo Baltic. Giovanni McKnight.
Senior night, you allow your seniors to enjoy a moment of their own time.
Absolutely. Nick Kellogg now will check in. Kellogg, the normal starter in this quintet. So Miami, can they build on some of the offensive performances they got at Rhodes Arena on Tuesday night, as both John Harris and Will Felder, and at times the entire ball club was sharp.
Well, when we talked to Coach John Cooper this afternoon, every game counts right now. This is their last regular season game. Nice move on the inside there. But last regular season game, Michael, they got a tournament game coming Monday night, but you're still trying to make progress, and we'll get into that a little bit in our conversation with Coach Cooper.
The first long-range bomb for DJ Cooper. You can ring that triple up. That is his 265th tray, and that is first in Ohio Bobcat history. Giovanni McKnight off of Bobcat history. Giovanni McKnight off the miss. Cooper, by the way, hit an enormous triple on Wednesday night, coming down the stretch to break a tie as Ohio beat Buffalo. Reggie Keeley. So we've seen DJ Cooper's trademark and now Reggie Keeley's trademark in his office with that strength around the rim.
A perfect fit for senior night. You got the three from DJ Cooper, then the inside strength from Reggie Keeley.
Now this senior class, by the way, Vince LaGarza pounded to the deck as he tried to find things around the rim. Cooper's pass got picked away. A lot of numbers now for Giovanni McKnight. Baltic will come away with the McKnight miss, the freshman here from the state of Ohio out of Middletown.
The Bobcats will love to get this pace up and down a little bit. Ball State on the other hand, Miami on the other hand a little bit. Ball State on the other hand, Miami on the other hand has to make sure they keep this tempo in a kind of a half court, as you can see right now. That's Coach John Cooper, pushes a little bit of a tone tempo here this evening.
Here's a good look at John Cooper. Had a terrific chat with him at Miami's shoot-around today. We'll tell you about some of that. You got Ball State on your mind. Cardinals had a big one today as they keep winning in Muncie, and we'll tell you what that does as LaGarza's bounce pass was thrown away. As we're close to getting all of our seeding set now to begin on Monday night at Campus Sites. Baltic had to give it up.
Senior night is always full of emotion, too. You got seniors playing their last regular season game. Reggie Keeley with the miss. And here comes the Red Hawks.
Well, this Miami basketball squad, as was the case on Tuesday night at Rhodes Arena, they're playing without Allen Roberts and Drew McGee. So both those young men with leg injuries that are not allowing either one of them to finish the season as Felder will attack the goal. LaGarza had a stick back that wouldn't stay down.
We'll see a couple different type of defenses from Miami. They basically have played mostly man, but they got a nice little combination zone.
Evo Baltic lacing that line drive jumper. Baltic bounced back strong. He had an excellent performance the other night in the win at Buffalo. Felder's going to tee it up. A triple came up flat. Ohio likes to push, and why not? Ladies and gentlemen, with the basketball in the hands of DJ Cooper, he tried to thread that needle to Keeley. Baltic off the miss. Ohio, the top assist team that we have. Oh, not just in the MAC, in all of college basketball.
And that's such an impressive feat when you think about other players besides DJ Cooper giving it up, taking care of their teammates.
All right, quit.
Up at Akron and got that career high 21 points.
And Miami has had a real tough time on the glass. They are at a -5. And of course, again, it's a team that's been in transition this year after, of course, the outstanding job done by the longtime head coach Charlie Coles. Baltic's got a rip away now. Bodies all over the decks. 5 bodies down in that sequence. And a basketball
down. For Ohio, offense production means more than just scoring. It's rebounding, it's assists, getting to the free throw line. More importantly, the pregame talk from Jim Christian was about playing for the seniors and playing for a share of the Mid-American Conference title.
Clean up everything in the offensive end is Will Felder, who's a 6'7" junior. Dropped that in the hole to bring Miami back to within 3. Michael Regat, Dave Sakuti with you. Delighted you're a part of it. That's T.J. Hall. That rainbow 3 wouldn't fall. John Smith to the cup. Ricardo Johnson on a stick back. 4th opportunity coming. Nick Kellogg. They went 0 for 4, did Ohio on that flurry. Hall.
And should have a little bit of energy as well playing in this building for the last regular season time.
That's Ricardo Johnson who got hit with that Ohio Bobcat personal foul. 6'5" junior out of Covington, Kentucky. On the floor now for Jim Christian. And you see him there with some of Miami's work, as that's a travel on Will. 2 of the Miami mainstays. I asked head coach John Cooper if this allowed him to get more confidence and trust in young men who are getting increased minutes.
Well, I certainly think it has. And I think even more importantly, what it's allowed, I think some guys are now a little bit more relaxed. Everyone knows they're going to play the game. And so now, you know, when the game starts, you really have everyone's attention. Guys are tuned in, making sure they're understanding what's going out on the court.
You have to do adjustment-wise from a coaching perspective. But more importantly, the wheels are turning for future next week, next month, the next 3 months, what you're going to have to do with these players and add that recruiting piece to it as well. A lot of things on the positive side for the Miami Redhawks.
6'3" sophomore Will Sullivan wears number 13. 6'5" junior Josh Sewell wears number 1 on the floor for Miami. That's Sewell in traffic.
The junior, strong body. Again, we talked about how all these players from Miami have to get a little stronger physically, get themselves in the weight room in the offseason.
Sewell rattles the first home, and I mentioned Charlie Coles, who did such a phenomenal job from 1996 through 2012. He and Jim Christian battled in many a monumental game when Christian was at Kent State. But, you know, you think about this Miami program, and sometimes you lose sight of this. Number 1 in all-time wins in MAC history, MAC games only. Number 1 in MAC championships, 21 of them. Number 1 in trips to NCAA tournament. That's how decorated this Miami program has been. Going back to the beginnings of the Mid-American Conference, it's the best, the most winning we've had in the MAC.
No question about that, Michael. And here's the
winning we've had in the MAC.
No question about that, Michael. And there's a turnover and a little bit of a push here from Miami. And I think sometimes you got to be selective. Probably not the best shot right there, but you're going to get another look at it from the corner.
Yeah, Josh Sewell couldn't hit it.
Get another look at it from the corner.
Yeah, Josh Sewell couldn't hit it, and neither could Reggie Johnson. Johnson wears number 4. He's got the mask on. Number 4. He's got the mask on. Well, Ohio's having all kinds of problems tonight, turning it over. Uncharacteristic. Johnson didn't finish. Uncharacteristic. Johnson didn't finish with a left hand. We're going up and down. Not a lot of productivity, though, either way.
Oh, he's got to settle down. Value the basketball. Settle down. Value the basketball. Another turnover and the push out.
Quentin Rollins wasn't able to finish, and DJ
turnovers because they haven't had the chance to score at the rim. Out of bounds play here for Miami.
La Garza going to go with a jump hook that wouldn't. Going to go with a jump hook that wouldn't fall. DJ Cooper, Walter Offit, and Offit will attack the cup. And going to the free throw line is Walter Offit. That's what he does. The Ohio Bobcats.
Well, the first thing on the scouting report under Walter Offit is make sure you take away the baseline drive. That's what he does best. He's got a great first step, can create space and gets himself within traffic, and he has the ability to finish as well.
Well, he had his career high of 26 in what turned out to be Ohio's final game of the year when they got beat in the Sweet 16 in overtime by the Tar Heels of North Carolina. And a game that Ohio felt that they had and kind of let slip away coming down the stretch. That ultimately forced overtime. Ohio held the lead. North Carolina forced overtime and then won it in OT. The big question is, will Ohio find their way back to what would be the senior class's third NCAA tournament in 4 years in this program, which would be quite an accomplishment. The duck through won't drop for Reggie Johnson. LaGarza will ball fake Keeley. No glass for the quick deuce.
Vince LaGarza, big body, strong, physical, loves to just hang around the basket and clean up some of the mess sometimes that you have around there, but you can really be productive if you're active around the glass.
Ohio by just one in the early going. Here's Stevie Taylor off the mark at his triple try. Baltic with a save. Travis Wilkins on the floor. Taylor will tee it up again and drain that triple.
Stevie Taylor finds a way. He's hit some big threes during the course of his young career. A good start for the Gahanna Lincoln product.
That's an understatement there, partner. One of the biggest was a three in overtime to beat Kent State in here about 2 weeks ago. As that basketball slapped away, and it'll stay.
The best compliment you could have from coaches around this conference is that you make your teammates better. And that's what DJ Cooper has stood for during the course of his career here at Ohio.
Came out of Chicago to this campus, as that's going to be a blocking foul. It's going
as you get to the free throw line. That has a tendency to keep the tempo of the game a little slower. And of course, you can have some production at the offensive end by scoring some points.
Now, of course, Jim Christian, who will finish with DJ Cooper as the head coach in this his senior season. Saw Cooper from afar. Now, Jim had already left Kent State and was at Texas Christian when DJ came in the league in the 09-10 season. And Cooper, of course, was the MAC Freshman of the Year. He's getting a respite right now. This is Stevie Taylor, and we've got a push. I asked it ranks in the history of the college game. Listen.
Well, you really try to put into words what he's meant to the program because of all the things that he's done and the way he's put them kind of in a new plateau. And he's just been a pleasure to coach. He's a guy that works every single day. He knows exactly what he does well. He knows what he doesn't do well. And he takes ownership in everything he has. You know, when we lose certain games, he's the first guy to say, I need, that's on me, or I need to get better at this. I mean, he holds himself to a pretty high standard. Because of that, he's, in my opinion, one of the top 5 point guards.
Go to one end of the floor, all the other players at the other end, and they work together on shooting. Very impressive. A neat little thing, I think, for a lot of people who don't see the pregame warm-up, because that's really where you make your hay, is shooting the basketball and on the off time. You got to get out there and really be a good shooter, and you do it by doing those kind of things.
That's what he's been all about, as he embodies all of that and more. Consummate leader. Young man from Seton Academy in Chicago. Cooper back on the floor right now is Travis Wilkins. Ohio's off to a very slow start here. Senior day on this reg season finale around the Mid-American Conference. So Travis Wilkins with a couple of makes. Is Ohio on top by 5. Well, Miami really laboring as well. Miami is 3 of 15 from the floor offensively, shooting 20%. Ohio's not much better at 4 of 14.
Now look at all that senior stuff out of the way here and get it out of their system. But you'll see a lot of trapping out front from the Bobcats as well. Once that ball screen comes, you'll see the bigs coming out, trying to put a trap. And now we're down a little bit short on that shot clock at 8.
This is Giovanni McKnight trying to take Wilkins. Oh! McKnight went and got his own. Reggie Johnson, that's off the mark. Reggie Johnson, that's off the mark. So the woes continue at the offensive end for Miami's Redhawks. DJ Cooper, that triple rattled out on him. He's already connected on one long-range bomb. Wilkins has got to rip away. Cooper will head to the rack and go to the free throw line on the foul on G.
Very big, but boy, the thing that sits right behind that eye in Ohio, that big heart that he has, tough competitor as well.
Look at how well he's been shooting the basketball. Maybe we could get that up again, fellas, if we could, please. I just want to document that 48% from DJ Cooper and averaging almost 17 points a game, as Cooper has been on a tear the last 3, and includes that excruciating loss that Ohio had to keep Damrot's Akron Zips in here when Akron played very, very well and won 88-81 in overtime 10 days ago.
But remember this, they rebounded from that loss, and in this conference, you cannot let yourself string losses together. You bounce back, you turn the page, you move forward.
I spoke to Jim Christian about that earlier today, and he said, you know, again, that's a mark of character, resilience, resolve. You lose a game like that to Akron, then go on the road and win at Bowling Green in Buffalo. That's big-time stuff for a team, though, that veteran and tournament tested.
And I'll tell you where that's going to play a big factor. There's a 35-second. Be happy right now with the production at the offensive end of the Red Hawks.
At the end of shoot-around today, as Nick Kellogg comes back, John Cooper said they gathered at center court, and he really made it a point that winning basketball teams have guys that sacrifice and give themselves up. Bodies on the deck going after loose balls. Off that Walter Often missed 3. Here's John Harris with a look, and Harris will cash out that triple. Now Harris coming off the big 21-point game at Rhodes Arena in the Miami loss on Tuesday night to Akron.
Well, we saw a little bit of that on Tuesday night. He'll have to get hot here to keep the Red Hawks close to this game.
Off and attacking the goal. Off and attacking the goal. Felder may have got a piece of that. So Miami, this is the way they want to play. Now they're going to play Ohio. They need to keep it a low-scoring grind.
Then I believe the opposing coach has the option to pick and select
of someone who's on the floor.
Yeah,
it's got to be on the floor.
But the other thing is he had to come out of the game because the trainer did come out onto the floor.
That's right. So Will Felder is finishing off what is now a 3-point trip, and we're tied at 15 apiece.
Well, you told me I'd see everything, Michael, during the course of this basketball season. We've seen a lot of quirky little things happen during the course of the season.
Yes, we have. Is Ohio going to be able to catch a spark? Knoxville State wraps up the number 5 seed, and did the Cardinals have to work for it? So they don't have to play Monday night. They go right to Cleveland to play on Wednesday night. They had to cut. They trailed almost the entire game against Mark Montgomery's Northern Illinois Huskies, and then won it late in Muncie, as that's a carry on Quentin Rollins of Miami. So what trafficking that took place in a police sting operation the other day on the Akron campus. And David, certainly I was at Akron last night as Kent State and Akron battle one another, and you know, again, it's cast a pall over what has been a tremendous themselves as the number 1 seed in the tournament without Abreu.
Well, you got to coil yourself back up if you're Keith Dambrot and the basketball staff. It happened 3 days ago. He's got a week to sort it out. It's unfortunate because this is a basketball team that had much at stake. An NCAA berth, kind of the model program at the mid-level major. All of that, we'll get to DJ Cooper. All of that was within reach of this basketball team. The question is, will they be able to continue that on?
Still within reach.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that they still can't do, but it certainly is going to make the situation much different in terms from a basketball perspective. DJ Cooper stroking that long-range 3, and then John Harris comes back to answer for Miami. And let me just say, too, that Alex Abreu entered a not guilty charge yesterday. So his trial, his court date, it will be forthcoming. And but now you have to wait and see how the University of Akron, as I said, institutionally wants to handle the situation going forward. Shot clock at 7. Cooper to cast off again. Baltic can't run it down.
Game of basketball, one of them was getting a little stronger. The other thing, we saw John Harris the last possession down here getting inside and doing those things instead of always stepping out, hitting those outside shots. And the kids nowadays love just stepping out there, and I understand that. But boy, sometimes you got to take care of your skill set, get yourself inside, get some power moves in there as well.
Harris will come off the curl. Hey, how about John Harris? We talked to John Cooper extensively about this junior, Harris, the young man out of Twinsburg High School around the Cleveland area. Cooper will come up front rim on that triple try.
Cooper, as we did for about a half an hour today. You know, these are the little stretches of the game right here where you know you're playing pretty well, but you got to continue it, and then you got to force the action by making. But you got to continue it, and then you got to force the action by making those free throws. Those are the little things that help this basketball team move forward.
Miami by 1 as Cooper's pass finally run down by T.J. Hall. So it's Cooper, Nick Kellogg, or Ricardo Johnson, Reggie Keeley, and T.J. Hall. That epitomizes the 4-year career of excellence of D.J. Cooper, the runner softly high off the window.
I love that type of move. Not real strong and not real sizey, but he can find a way to finish.
Will Felder lacing that line drive 3 for Miami. So the Redhawks, showing Ohio. And again, these, all of you that follow MAC basketball, you're aware. I mean, this is one of the strongest natural rivalries that we have in the Mid-American Conference. This battle of the southern state of Ohio.
Rivalries and the ability just to kind of find a couple people on your schedule you want to go head-to-head with each and every night.
Keeley wants it under the rack, didn't finish. The rack, didn't finish. John Harris with that length. Keeley and Harris saw a lot of each other in high school around the Cleveland area. Keeley at Cleveland Heights, Harris at Twinsburg. Well, Miami by 2 and trying to extend the lead. Harris thought about it over Keeley. Sullivan will. On the offensive board for Miami is Jason Tadlock. John Harris had a Tadlock. John Harris had a clean look. That didn't go down. And Cooper wants to push. Kellogg in rhythm. Real good look. Real good look. Nothing falling for Ohio's Bobcats.
And Nick Kellogg came out of that shooting slump here this week, midweek. You're hoping, if you're Nick Kellogg, that you can find something to happen here from the perimeter as well. Kind of keep that thing going, keep that snowball rolling there.
Tadlock underneath the rack and lost the basketball. Felder didn't finish basketball. Felder didn't finish it. Ohio just 6 of 22 from the floor. Cooper. Keeley with strength, and he'll go to the free throw line. That'll be out on Fox Sports Ohio. Tip it off a little bit after 6 o'clock. The Cavaliers and Toronto. Reggie Keeley grew up around the city of Cleveland. He's a big Cavaliers fan. Of course, he a part of the senior class. Jim, how about 3 senior Bobcats? DJ Cooper over 2,000 points. Reggie Keeley, Ivo Baltic, both over 1,000 in their careers. As you look at Reggie's numbers, first trio in program history to have 3 seniors do that. And this, think about it, 92 wins for this senior class with 12 postseason wins for Cooper, Keeley, Baltic, and Offord.
It will go down as one of the most accomplished senior classes in the history of this fine institution and basketball program. Very impressive when you think about that, when you look at those numbers as we kind of drill down on them occasionally.
Yeah, they have been superb, but they find themselves down by 1. Like Garza had to give it up. That's Jared Tadlock, who misfired on the triple try, and now Vince LaGarde.
Numbers get bumped up there, but that's a remarkable stat. 3 of a kind.
Ohio got it right back as John Smith missed the free throw. Now Cooper will cast off from there, but left it short. Well, look at the lively legs of Ricardo Johnson with a fresh 35-second shot clock. Cooper gave it up. Ball reversal to T.J. Hall. Cooper in traffic. Didn't fall. John Smith had a pair of stickbacks. Ball didn't finish. Is there a... And that foul was called on T.J. Hall. And that's number 8 on Ohio. That's Hall's first. So here's Reggie Johnson, the sturdy freshman out of the city of Chicago at the free throw line for Miami.
For a freshman, good production. A little over 8 points per game, 2.5 rebounds 2.5 rebounds per game. He'll be called upon to whole lot of minutes when it gets to next season. His off season is going to be very, very important for the Red Hawks.
See Ohio about 15 down from their norm in first halves. Cooper off that backdoor slash. That is all
to the inside interior defense of the Bobcats.
A lot at stake today for Ohio's Bobcats. That became apparent after the Kent State win over Akron last night at Rhodes Arena. With a win today, Ohio can share a MAC regular season crown with the Akron Zips at 14-2. Will Felder off an excellent look from John Harris for the Felder bucket.
But what John Harris did previous to catching the basketball was he slipped that double team screen, got himself to the free throw line to receive that pass, and then deliver the dime.
Miami by 3. Baltic off the spin. 6 of 29 off the spin. 6 of 29 from the floor now for Ohio's Bobcats. Again, a 60-degree day splashed with sunshine here in southeast Ohio. And on the other hand, the Ohio Bobcats are about as other and chilly as it is warm here in this part of the state.
And go figure. All the offensive production they've had here in the last 2 weeks. And then you come home here for senior day in front of your large crowd here in the Convocation Center. And you're struggling to find a way to score points.
Pressing a little bit.
You never know. A little bit.
Felder, strength going last. Back-to-back hoops for Will Felder. Suddenly the lead is 5. DJ Cooper didn't get it to go down. 2 more offensive misses at the rim for Ohio. It'll be Miami basketball.
A little credit here defensively. They've done a good job.
Well, it happens. We've been around this college game and around the MAC and the entire college game long enough to know, coaches constantly urging their players as Ohio's missed their last 10 shots in a row. They're being outscored 10-2 in the paint by Miami. You gotta battle through it. There are going to be stretches inside. You see there the women's semis on Friday at Quicken Loans Arena downtown Cleveland. Then the championship game on Saturday. So you got 9 games on Sports Time Ohio. 6 men, 3 women, and the MAC tournament preview show gets it started on Tuesday. Will Felder is right now.
One shot, gentlemen. One.
Back on January 23rd, Ohio's Bobcats, more like their normal offensive game output. They went into Millett Hall and put 74 on the board and beat Miami 74-60 and beat Miami 74-62. Now that was 9 weeks ago. And are the Bobcats struggling here this afternoon? Find themselves down 7. 8 seconds left of the first half. Baltic with 3 from very deep. Cooper is going to the free throw line with
shot by Baltic and air ball. DJ Cooper finding a way to get Jim Christian maybe a couple points here as we head to the break.
In the second half, as Cooper misses his first, I'm going to go through my litany of, in my mind, the most elite point guards to ever play in the Mid-American Conference. And I've been calling games in this conference for 26 seasons, as Cooper will split hair, but we're going to have some fun with that in the second half. And Ohio's Bobcats got a lot of work to do if they're the basketball to see. An Ohio win has them at 14-2. And will get them a co-championship with Akron Zips atop the MAC. Now, Akron is definitively the #1 seed, and if you're wondering why, if both of them were to finish 14-2, Akron swept Ohio in the season series. Both Ohio losses came at the hands of Keith Ambrot and his Akron Zips. So Miami with the first look at the offensive end. John Harris along with Will Felder, Quentin Rollins, Giovanni McKnight and Vince Lagarza on the floor for Miami. As that shot clock will come inside 10.
Well, if you're head coach John Cooper, you know you're not playing that great, but if you're going to pick a game that you know you might be able to win, this is the type of game you can come in here and try to make something happen against this Bobcat basketball team.
That's a strong take from Quentin Rollins. Rollins, the lead guard, the young man out of Wilmington here in the Buckeye State, and this lead is suddenly 8. DJ Cooper with Reggie Keeley, Nick Kellogg, Walter Offutt, Nevo Baltic. TJ Hall had made 8 starts here through the latter part of January and on into February. Cooper from deep. Giovanni McKnight will board off the DJ Cooper missed 3 for Ohio. Will the Bobcats suddenly start to find their shooting strokes here in the second half? Well, they're going to need it if they're going to get over the top. This is John Harris. Harris triple won't fall. LaGarza with an outstanding save by the 50-year senior out of San Francisco, Vince LaGarza for Miami. Now Cooper just picked the pocket of Giovanni McKnight. DJ Cooper, the all-time steal leader in the history of Ohio Bobcat basketball.
A textbook pickpocket. And hopefully we'll get a chance to see a little replay on that, because that's what you do as one of the top guards in this conference. You find a way to get your team going. One way you can do it, you come around. You reach out, you find a steal, and you end up at the other end for an easy shot.
Yeah, we'll see if that provides a little impetus and gets Ohio started. Their first bucket here, and game 2 minutes into the second half.
But notice the tempo of Miami. This is where they want this game right now. More of a half-court game. Nice little move, little slice to the...
All-time assist leader in the history of this program, all-time steals leader in the history of this program. High on the charts of both, top 20ish in the history of the college game. I mean, the numbers are quite frankly, not only they're phenomenal, but sometimes you look at them and say, oh, that man, about 5'10", 5'11", 165 pounds. His impact on the college game, he's carved out quite a niche for himself.
Well, we talked about him several of our broadcasts. You know, he's going to come back here one of these days as a father with some kids, and you know, he's going to look at that record book and he's going to point to a couple things. And I'm even amazed. How about that try there by Reggie Keeley?
Terrific senior season has Reggie Keeley. Now Keeley trying to cap off that three-point opportunity. He'll do that as Will Felder right among them. He and Javon McCray all year long among the MAC leaders.
Well, I will continue to say this. To win a championship at any level, in this level, you have to have at least 2 players consistently playing at a first-team or second-team all-conference level. And the Ohio Bobcats have had that in DJ Cooper, Reggie Keeley, and Walter Offutt for the most of the time this year. Consistently, they've produced for them.
Miami continued to get outstanding play from Giovanni McKnight. He just went glass as they broke pressure of Ohio. TJ Hall is checked in now, replacing Nevo Baltic. It's a 7-point Miami lead. Delighted to have you with us. And another battle of the bricks, this outstanding rivalry in the MAC. That's Walter Offutt off the mark. Hall tried back. That's Walter Offutt off the mark. Hall tried to keep it alive, but McKnight will come out of the pack. Miami looking to push tempo a little bit. Reggie Johnson got shut off by Walter Offutt. Offutt's very good on the ball defender.
Well, the one thing Miami brings to the table, and give John Cooper credit for this, is he has understood his personnel. Playing with a limited bench, he understands what they need to do to keep themselves in game. And you never know, maybe spring, maybe the upset at least of the month.
Shot clock at 3. Rollins to unload, didn't get the roll. Rollins to unload, didn't get the roll. Kellogg and Cooper will push it. Cooper got held by Quentin Rollins.
As well as we saw right there. If he gets ahead of steam and he's pushing the ball at you, very, very difficult to keep him in front of you.
Strong hands of Reggie Keeley, but he couldn't get that to drop. TJ standing 5-star hotels, MAC tournament, City of Cleveland. Shores of Lake Erie takes place March 13th through the 16th. That's next Wednesday through Saturday. And simply put, we'll see you in Cleveland. We know you're not going to want to miss it. Away from the basketball, we have John Cooper, huh?
Coach Cooper and his staff. Been a tough, difficult season. Stay positive, full of energy. That's what you have to do. You have no choice. You got young players that are leaning on you as a coaching staff. So you got young players that are leaning on you as a coaching staff. And the result is you're in a basketball game right now with a very good Ohio team and a charge on that call right there. But you're up.
Game, they're not anywhere near as proficient. That's the way John Cooper wants to play, but it's going to take some time as they've been more of a grinded out half-court offense over the course of Charlie Cole's tenure.
Well, here's what I like about what he's done. And there's an outside look again. And there's an outside look again. I think the Bobcats are leaning on that a little bit too much, but back to my point, Michael, I think defensively he started out in his style of system, and he's made an adjustment midstream during the season. They played a frenzied pace for the first 12 or 15 games of the season. How about that drive to the basket? But what he did then...
Got some strength in your backcourt if you're Miami. You said, I use the term very sturdily built. 6'1" freshman out of Chicago, Reggie Johnson, who tucked that up. He goes 200 pounds. Giovanni McKnight, 6'3", goes $190. Quentin Rollins, 6-foot junior. Some size and some strength in the backcourt. Keeley with a right-handed punch. Excellent look from the all-time Ohio assist leader, DJ Cooper. Leads back to 8. The Ozone's starting to get into this now a little bit. Students just got back from spring break. They don't start classes again until Monday. Been off all the past week.
Well, that last possession, Miami opened up the court. That's what Ohio is very, very good. But how about that drive there off the glass? Nice little touch.
It's Quentin Rollins who converts. Keeley calling for it, left block. Off it'll attack. Wilkins the triple. It's the triple. Boarded by Will Sullivan of Miami. Miami by 10. Making a dozen as Reggie Johnson will cash out the jumper. And Jim Christian has seen enough as it came down here today. And after, again, what's transpired in the last 48 hours on the University of Akron campus, there were a lot of people that were saying, oh, well, this puts Ohio in the driver's seat. Ohio now is a favorite to win the MAC championship. Well, we'll see. We'll see as DJ Cooper fades away. It rattles. DJ Cooper fades away. It rattles out on him. You may think that, but here they are, having played 27 minutes today on Senior Day, are shooting it very poorly and are down by a dozen to Miami.
They're not in the driver's seat, and you're trying to find out where the accelerator is right now, because offensively, their production in terms of shooting percentage, getting quality shots, are way down the ladder. Quality shots are way down the ladder.
John Smith with a send-away of Josh Sewell. Cooper in traffic. It would have counted had it gone.
Where his superlatives usually step up, because he's got the crafty ability to make his way to the basket.
Jim Christian knows, too, that with a basketball in his hands, good things can happen. By the way, that young man I mentioned, 4th all-time in Ohio Bobcat history, 5th. The 5th best point producer we've had in the history of the Mid-American Conference. Don't think he'll catch number 1, though. That, of course, the incomparable Bonzi Wells, the all-time career leader in points from the Ball State Cardinals program.
Tempo again here for Miami. A 10-point lead. Good quality selection on your shots is really what you want right here.
After Cooper hit a pair, now the shot clock at 5. Harris has got to load it up. Load it up. Cooper will board the Harris miss. Is this where Ohio catches their spurt with 12:45 left? Cooper to the step back. Came up short. Step back. Came up short. Rollins to the push. Great extra pass, and count that. You can.
I'm just surprised right now with Ohio in terms of their execution offensively. You got to run your offense, do what you do all season long. Don't change now. It's not the time or the place.
Well, Jim Christian's going to pair Stevie Taylor with DJ Cooper now. Cooper and Taylor playing 2-man. Well, Walter Offutt needs to catch a spark too. Offutt off that hop step.
You look at the time on the clock remaining in this second half, Michael, 12:04. You're wondering, is this thing going to get ignited here pretty soon?
So far, and again, now we're talking about 28 minutes into this basketball game. I can't imagine there's a whole lot that Jim Christian has been pleased about in any facet of their game today through the first 28 minutes.
And I know it's easy for us to sit here and make excuses and all this. I know when you have senior day, a lot of distractions. You got family in town, you're worried about tickets, you're worried about the meal last night, you're making sure they're okay. You're not concentrating completely on the basketball game, but you got to put that aside and get yourself going here.
Giovanni McKnight is going to go to the free throw line. And have you noticed now, our communications director, Jeremy Guy, calls it at mac-sports.com, OhioLottery.com, and the Q box office. So look, it's just simple. If you're the Ohio Bobcats, you got a chance to win a co-championship with Akron. David, here they are again. So uncharacteristic. I mean, this is a quality basketball team, shooting 20%, 9 of 43 from the floor, 28 minutes deep into the game.
You know, if you're Jim Christian, and I know I've been in that situation where you're trying to push the right buttons, and sometimes the buttons aren't moving. And right now, for Ohio, it's tough. Your shooting percentage continues to go down. Stevie Taylor tries to find a way to get him back in this basketball game.
So Taylor will rip cord on that triple hit, trying to urge this big crowd. And I remember we were here 10 nights ago. They had over 12,000 in here. Absolutely wild for what turned out to be a disappointing overtime loss to Akron. And with the students just getting back, over 8,000 here today. They're down 9, trying to climb over the top against their rivals from Miami. Shot clock at 8 as Rollins will size up Stevie Taylor. Taylor shut him off, and that's a 35-second shot clock violation. Now
have to capitalize on it because you're going to get a fresh possession for Coach Jim Christian.
Hamilton hit here. A deuce, they're back to 7. If they triple, they are back to within 6. Still a world of time left. Baltic sizing up John Harris. Baltic had to give it up. Cooper to triple. Oh! The stick back will go. The big one against Akron. He was extremely active on the offensive glass. Oh, John Smith with a 4-point John Smith explosion off of this free throw. He steered that into the bucket.
Someone needed to take over on this Ohio team. John Smith trying to claim it right now.
How does Miami respond? 7-0 run for Ohio. Stevie Taylor has provided a lot of the impetus for this as he and Cooper have teamed up in a smallish backcourt. But Taylor looked a ball hawk. Shot clock at 5. Shot clock at 2. Rollins got ripped 2. Rollins got ripped by Taylor. Off it. Off it for 3. Smith kept that alive. This place was going to maybe come undone had that gone from Walter Offutt.
John Cooper puts up the stop sign. Slow it down. Gentlemen, get some pace and some tone to this game. You can feel something different down there, can't you, partner?
Oh, yeah.
Defensive end.
That'll be John Smith on a blocking foul. And Steve Ove. And that lasted for about 5 minutes. There was no run or surge caught by Ohio until Stevie Taylor entered and John Smith entered. This is Felder.
He's been a little quiet here in the second half. Will Felder.
Reggie Johnson got swatted by John Smith.
Reggie Johnson.
So how does they get a good look at the ozone? That just absolutely wildly enthusiastic Ohio student section, very famous around the college game. So how does a young Miami basketball team handle this?
Well, we talked about it. Number one is you got to make sure you understand that there's going to be a couple even more runs, and really this is a ball game now at 5 points, but you got to maintain your patience and poise as basketball teams. on the basketball floor. And I saw it with the huddle. They got each other together. But there's Walter Alston with the answer at the offensive end. This is where it slips away from you if you're Miami right here. And there's a good timeout by Coach John Cooper.
Walter off it, by the way, on that powerful baseline drive, his first field goal make of the day. Offit, who averages 11 a game, the 6'4", 50-year senior out of Indianapolis.
A good timeout by John Cooper. You couldn't wait for that media timeout. You had to get it right away. Your team was rattled, had to settle them down. See what they get here offensively.
See if they go to the length of John Harris. Johnson will give it up to Harris, who hoists and can't knock out that three. Cooper to push it. Taylor from deep. Came up short off that front rim. Miami continuing to look to push. Cooper got a rip away. Smith season co-championship with the Akron Zips, who after winning 19 in a row, dropped 2 of their last 3 down the stretch. Both of Ohio's MAC losses to Akron. So Akron has already clinched the #1 seed as John Smith connected on his first, but an Ohio win would give them the MAC regular season co-championship as Smith's second rattles out. And the thing about this Ohio program, they've won tournament championships 2 of the last 3 years, but they have not won a MAC regular season championship.
And 5 days ago, Michael, they probably thought they weren't going to win one again. And then funny things happen around March.
Giovanni McKnight threw it away. Stevie Taylor will attack the goal. We're tied 44 apiece. Stevie Taylor continues to play superb basketball off Jim Christian's bench. 12-0 run for Ohio. They've erased a 44-32 deficit. Taylor with another steal. Cooper for the lead. Bang! Bang! He's tripled from that deep left corner to push the run to 15 zip run. I believe in 5 turnovers, and I believe Stevie Taylor's had 3 steals in this 4-5 Miami turnovers. Ohio by 3. And wow, did it happen with rapid fire fashion attached to it. Miami desperately needs a bucket. Shot clock at 8. Rollins shot clock at 4. Sewell will cast off the 3. Now putback will go from Will Sullivan after John Harris drew rim as he kept it alive to beat the 35-second clock.
That's understanding time and score. You made sure you at least touched it, got it to the rim to reset that shot clock to get the rebound basket.
That ends a 15-0 Ohio run. Taylor off the step. Smith will go to the free throw line.
A little more quickness, probably a little more energy. Have found a way to get this Bobcat basketball team right back at it.
And don't forget John Smith's 4-point play as well for this young man. He'll rattle home his first. John Smith now with 6 points to go along with 8 rebounds, and 6 of his boards are at the offensive end.
He's got a block down there too, so he's done some good things defensively here in the second half.
Real energy guy, and really, quick hops, keeps balls alive on the offensive glass.
The other bonus, he's a pretty good free throw shooter as well. And late in the game, tight games, your bigs are going to spend some time there. He's the one you want there at the free throw line.
Underneath 6 left. This is John Harris. Got it at a big silencer of this crowd here at the Convo as Harris knocked out the face-up jumper. Ohio, there's a big story there. 36 possessions without a turnover. Taylor had a good look at it. Stevie Taylor's not bashful, is he?
No, that's what you got to be. You have to have confidence, a catch-and-shoot type of player.
Miami can reclaim the lead on this trip after John Harris knocked out that huge jumper a moment ago.
Keep that mind, that tempo in mind right now. Even though the shot clock's gotten down very, very, very close for the Red Hawks, they've eliminated more possessions for Ohio.
Shot clock again is at 5. Rollins got to get to it. Rollins at 1. Drew some rim right as that shot clock expired. Cooper's on the bounce for Ohio. You got to get up and check DJ at the slash bar because he will rise and fire from there. Baltic to triple and fill it up. Good looking stroke, catch and shoot for Evo Baltic.
32% shooter outside the arc. Caught himself wide open. Big shot for the Bobcats.
We approach the 4-minute mark. Ohio's lead is at 4. It is their largest lead of the day. Felder wants it, low block, it delivers a glass.
Off it, overran that pass into the post. Left in isolation, a good finish for Miami.
2-point Ohio lead. Hope you're enjoying everybody as we're inside the 4-minute mark at the Convocation Center. Again, an Ohio win. Bring them a Co-Mac regular season championship with Ackwood Zips. Whistle, and Jim Christie wants to talk about it. With 3:35 left, Ohio a regular 7th from Kent State. Would you concur with that?
Yes, and I'd probably throw Javon McCray in there as well, just because of his numbers. But about to move there by Baltic.
And then he ran down his Ole Miss. John Smith, jackknife it up and down. Evo Baltic with the hustle and muscle.
John Smith with a little hesitation and taking the ball up strong.
The lead is 4 as we're going to approach 3 minutes left on this Miami trip. Stevie Taylor and John Smith stay on the floor and 8 more boards for John Harris. As this, and we talked extensively with head coach John Cooper, asked him what he wants from him. He said one of the things is maybe on the offensive end, be more intuitive as he's not able to cap off the 3-point trip, but be able to find some things going to the rim with his athleticism rather than just settling from the perimeter.
And you know, high school players, they have a tendency to dominate games, do whatever they want. He's learned a few things during his first 2 years and learning a lot more now as a junior for Miami.
All right, Ohio by a deuce. Glad to have you part of it. As we come down the stretch, Michael Regai, Dave Sakuti, producer Mike Atkinson, director Pat Murray, is Walter Offord having problems with the basketball. Do we have a shot clock violation? Well, Mike Sanzur said, I never blew the whistle.
Down 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Big possession for the Red Hawks.
Let's take a look at the quintet John Cooper has on the floor. That's Ohio's first turnover in their last 40 possessions. Quentin Rollins, Reggie Johnson, Will Felder, Will Sullivan, and John Harris. Harris has been their money guy. Sullivan to the goal. Threw it up in the rim. Threw it up in the rim. Numbers, Cooper and Taylor. Taylor in rhythm. It wouldn't fall for rhythm. It wouldn't fall for.
2 minutes.
Jim Christian wanted a whistle there that was not forthcoming. We're inside 2 minutes left. Ohio by 2. Hang on, everybody.
They're going to tempo this next offensive possession. Got to be a little careful. They're taking that shot clock into critical stages at 15.
Sullivan wants Felder and threw it away. That entry pass.
Corner of the backboard. You young players out there from the wing. Throw it up to the corner.
How about Stevie Taylor hearing it from this Ohio crowd as now TJ Hall comes back to replace Stevie Taylor. Offit, Cooper, Kellogg, Hall. and Smith. Minute 20 left. Kellogg the triple. Hall with a putback goal. But bump the lead to 4 as nobody put a body for Miami on TJ Hall. 56-52, Ohio.
First good look if you're Miami right here. Clock is getting a little quick on you.
Felder got held, and he'll go to the free throw line. He earns the bonus on that 8th team foul on Ohio. Good free throw shooter, too, as you see, at 70, almost 79%.
Good free throw shooter, and expect if he can get both of these to get down, we'll see a little pressure here from Miami.
Touched it up and got the roll. So some kind iron on the road for John Cooper's ball club.
Trust me, folks, that looks like a relaxing seat that he's had there. There's nothing relaxing about that right now. You are churning inside. You know you got an opportunity right now to pull off one of the biggest wins of your regular season here tonight in Athens.
Will Felder has just calmly made a pair. Felder and John Smith continue to provide front court punch for Miami. 2-point game, 50 seconds left. Trap coming on DJ Cooper. Hall will cross that timeline. 20 left on the shot clock, 40 left in the game.
Play it out right now if you're Miami. Play this possession like no other possession in your regular season.
DJ Cooper, shot clock at 8. Kellogg to raise up. Got it! He knocked down the deuce from inside the three-point arc. Did Nick Kellogg. As DJ Cooper found Kellogg. And the world, if you're Miami, you'd like to get your shot up with 15 left. So they got to think being quick here. 17 left. Rollins will attempt the goal. And John Smith. 15 seconds left. Johnson to trigger. Got to get it in. Don't have a timeout. Now with 12. Got to get a shot off. Rollins got to get a shot off with 8. We've got a held ball situation. Possession arrow goes to Ohio with 7 seconds left. Nick Kellogg, big-time defensive play.
2 terrific plays. The first one by John Smith, the second by Nick Kellogg. Coming up with the basketball. Bobcat basketball.
They want Walter off at inbound. Remember that possession started when Jim Christian's going to get a 30-second timeout. The possession started on
right here.
Yep, they do, or else it's got to be a real quick foul. Off it'll trigger. Kellogg had it in his hands. Wow, 2 seconds left. 1 second left. It's over, and you can book a MAC regular season co-championship to Jim Christian and his Ohio Bobcats. They had to gut this out for 40 minutes. Rally with a 15-0 run and finally overtake Miami to win it 58-54.
And it really came from 2 guys off the bench for Jim Christian. Stevie Taylor, John Smith. With the energy and the tenacity they brought here in the second half, guided this Bobcat into a well-earned
share of it today. And this student section letting the seniors walk off at the first to climb the ladder and snip the rope.
These are the moments you remember right here, folks. Especially as a senior, the ability comes on your home court. You get a couple snippets of that. You take a little piece of it with you. You remember it for the rest of your life.
This one was hanging in the balance, and quite frankly, Ohio was not playing well at all. They trailed it by 12, and then the bench bunch ignited. That young man right there, Stevie Taylor, the small of it, and John Smith, the long of it. Taylor off the rip away. DJ Cooper, spot up, raise up, bring it up. That gave Ohio the lead that they never relinquished late in the basketball game.
It's one of your key plays of the game. and it comes from your two smallest players on the floor getting it done.
Well, you can't. Stevie Taylor, when Ohio's Bobcats get to Cleveland next week as MAC regular season co-champions, it would not have happened today. They were reeling now. They were reeling and ready to be had, trailing by 12 with 9 minutes to go when Stevie Taylor entered the basket. Now, John Smith, too, as we said, but the catalyst really with his work defensively, hitting a big three and running the floor with Stevie Taylor.
No question. And that's what you expect from guys off the bench. Bring something different. Coach Jim Christian, as I mentioned, was trying to find some buttons to push. He found one in Stevie Taylor, that's for sure. Because the young man out of Columbus, Ohio, found a way to come in and really stir this activity up on the basketball floor. Defensively, offensively, a little bit of everything.
You know, Miami's Will Felder and John Harris, the two young front court players that we spotlighted at the open of the show. They were terrific today. Felder had 20 on 7 of 10 for the floor. Harris had 13 on 6 of 11. And Ohio, for the game, Ohio's Bobcats shot 31%. Now, 46% in the second half. But think about it. 46% in the second half brought them up to 31% for the game.
That's what I was just going to say, because we looked at a couple of those stats as they were delivered to us, and there were some 22% numbers sitting there for that second half, so they had to push it hard to get up to that number.
At the end of the first 20 minutes at halftime, they shot 18%. Did Ohio on 6 of 32 from the floor. This for the #1 team in the Mid-American Conference in 4 different offensive categories. Points per game, field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, and assists per game.
A good look at Nick Kellogg. Had a big play there late in the game. A little shot fake. Got a little deuce to go down. You think his dad has cut down a few of those nets in his time? Absolutely.
Well, Nick Kellogg, the junior, who will come back, and now here's one of the quartet of seniors. They love Evo Baltic, a young man from Kansas City here on this Ohio campus. Now wait till you hear the roar for 6'8" John Smith, and how about 2 block shots and his 4-point play on a pair of buckets, the second one off of his free throw that put him over the top.
Watch his activity and the foul. John Smith talking about just rushing to the ball. That's what you can do sometimes off of that free throw situation. Big play.
And of course, finally, the heart and soul, the All-American candidate, and ladies and gentlemen, the only player in the history of this glorious game of college basketball on the Division I side that has accumulated more than 2,000 points. Let's show you that graphic again. The only one in the history of college basketball that's accumulated over 2,000 points. We'll wait to see it. It's 4 categories: assists, points, steals, and rebounds. And DJ Cooper goes to the head of the class as the only one to ever do it. 2,000 points, 900 assists, over 600 boards, and over 300 steals. There's the numbers for DJ Cooper.
Well, he's done it all, folks, and get a chance here as Jim Christian makes his way up that ladder. He was eyeballing that last strand of net. I know that. It looked like he was about ready to tackle a big meal of some kind, but he's done a great job with this basketball team. You come into a program like he did, even though he had great experience in his conference, and do what he did, and those players accepted him. Remarkable job by Jim Christian.
Yep, outstanding job, and of course 6 years at Kent State. Jim Christian, while at Kent State, with the highest winning percentage in his 6 years ever in MAC games, 75%. today he goes to 90 wins against just 30 losses.